Welcome back, everybody. This is Brother Min here. Today we're continuing our quest with Dora and his two assistants. With our Triumvirate is doing well. We're leveling up, proceeding nicely. We have some stuff to do back in our kingdom real quick before we probably traipse around a little bit more. Let's get into it, shall we? Now I have uploaded, and you probably haven't seen this yet, but there's at least 4 videos that I've uploaded recently. Been trying to chop them up into about 30-ish minute chunks. I may do the same here today. I don't know, maybe an hour again, I'm not sure. We'll see. For those of you that have never played this game before, know that I am using mods. Some of the obvious changes you'll see was my favorite, which is the turn-based combat, the ability to literally be more like pen and paper. Extremely valuable, extremely helpful. Very slow process, but that's okay, I don't mind. And for those of you that may be physically impaired a little bit, this might actually be to your benefit, so you can really plan stuff out. Again, extremely helpful. Other stuff that you will see would be remove area effects, where I can make like web spells, grease spells disappear at the end of combat. I'll have some different spells and abilities that you don't have because of things like Eldritch Arcana mod. We have Bag of Tricks, which we use to basically give ourselves a little leg up. You can use this for quite a bit amount of exploits, so I try not to dip into there too much, but at the very beginning of the game, you'll have seen that I gave my character, because of his backstory, all the scrolls or spells from level 1 and 1 from level 2, and there was a reason for that, so I don't mind doing that. We have a camera rotation. That's something that's particularly helpful when you're planning stuff out, especially because of this turn-based combat. It's really hard to see some stuff, so it's nice that that's a thing. But let's get into it, shall we? And then we had returned, if I remember, back to our castle, or keep, whatever you call it. We probably need to check some stuff real quick just to make sure that we're current as far as is everyone leveled up? Do I need to do anything for the kingdom? I think we're good, because I think I did that in the last video, but we will check just to make sure. And yeah, we have one person working 6 days, so on the 24th, we need to be within our kingdom so we can see how did he do. Did he pass his check? He should. It's a 3 in 4 chance that he'll pass it. That don't mean he will. Again, we're scum saving this stuff. And even though it's an opportunity, so it's not the end of the world if we fail, if we succeed, you see, we get a nice bonus to our loyalty on success or triumph. So pretty damn snazzy. So this will just go up a little bit more. Extremely helpful. Notice that we have an advisor, of course, still to place. And yes, I can place my mercenaries, but I just refuse to do so. We have nothing going on ranking up. Don't want to pillage anything here. The only one that we can do, because of the X's, lets us know that we don't have anyone for that job. Which actually, wait a minute. Why does it say that we can? What? You just lied to me, game. What's with the big X? We have plenty of BP. We have a guy that can do it. I don't understand why that's showing an X there. Normally that usually means that you don't have someone available for the job, like you haven't trained someone to do it, like this one here. So I don't know why that's glitching like that. Training wise, again, same deal. No one for that one, and the one we have for this one is busy. So that's fine. We got a 7 and a 7, so we've got people working on stuff here. Let's actually quickly look into our towns. We have 2. We want to make sure that they're building stuff properly. We don't need to waste more BP, but let's take a gander. So what have we built? We have a pier, a longhouse, an herbalist house, bulletin board, tavern, barracks, windmill, brewery, and wooden walls. As you can see, all of them are built. They're all providing the following bonuses. +3, +3, or 2, +3, and on down the line. So again, showing you what you literally have done. Now this is not per week or anything silly like that, I don't think. It literally is a one-time static buff. So if you want to get stability, for instance, up to a solid 10, maybe that's important to you, then you need to find something to build that gives you stability. Notice also when we look in the build, they have arrows on some of these, okay? Not all of them, like bulletin board, but the ones with arrows mean they can be upgraded. Now notice they require a town. It says specifically in the pop-up list there, Alchemist Laboratory requires town, which we do not have. You can make a town. This will be your first, obviously. And doing so requires you to have like multiple regions, like 2 or 3 more. So we're doing fine. We're progressing in that direction. And again, the upgrade tells you what the upgrade gives you too. More arcane for the herbalist house. Longhouse gives us more loyalty. Piers give us more community. And again, this is stuff that you'll want to do too. It's another way to diversify, if you will. Now again, we do have spots available still to build things. That's still a solid choice. Remember, we have a longhouse, an herbalist house. We're hoping There it is. Shrine for free. Boom. Still needs to be built. But that was part of one of our quests, and I forgot to come back here and slap that down. That was why we did that and left that spot blank. Now, next to that, we would want a monument. And I don't want to waste the BP because it's going to take us down under 100. And I never want to be under 100. I'd rather have a stockpile of 200 or more. But that might be unrealistic early game. But this will be a solid buff. Nice bonus to Divine. And let's see what else happens with a Shrine. Adjacent to Monument, more Divine, which we don't have. Longhouse, though, with more Loyalty. So we'll get a bonus to Divine and Loyalty. So Divine will be pushed to a 7. And Loyalty will be bumped up again to a 24. Again, moving Loyalty in the right direction. Very, very nice. Herbalist House. Well, next to a Shrine, which it is, once this is finished being built, we'll get more Arcane. That'll be nice. That'll finally push us into positive on this one to put us 4. Now, obviously, we don't have advisors for the ones that don't have the ranks. So we'll work on that at some other time. Now, let's take a look at our other town. Now, I don't know if we could actually scroll through them, or if I have to actually select them. It looks like I have to actually select them. So we backpedal here, scroll up. You can just use your mouse to do this, or the WASD keys. Again, here's our other town, Trade Guard. This is the one with Bakkens, and in a day, his will be built. That's good information. Why? Because once that's built, Bakken will show up and start talking to us about what we want. He'll bring us gifts. He's our first artisan. So that's awesome. Actually, I do want to go inside there, though. Well, I don't want to go under 100 BP. There's a lot that I can build with 30 BP. So we'll see if there's something here that makes sense. Tavern and Longhouse. Longhouse is 50. No joy on that. Tavern, 20. There we go. So I can make me a tavern and still keep within my theme. What does the tavern give us? Economy. Perfect. And it gives us, well, with Bakkens, it'll give us more economy. Sounds solid. So tavern it is. So that'll be something that, again, will benefit us greatly. We want to get stats up to 20 ASAP, so that literally we can turn the rank 1s into rank 2s. And that's to our benefit. It's more to our benefit that economy is at equal level to all the ranks that you see here, or better. And that's just a monetary BP per week kind of reason. So you always want to make sure that your econ goes up. Now, we still do not have an economist. I can always put one in. I'm refusing to do so. We have a day to toy around. I don't know if there's anything in town to do for a day. And I don't want to get outside my kingdom for too long. Maybe, here we go. What we'll do is we'll check, make sure that everybody has their gear and level ups. Fairly certain we do. We clearly need to rest. That's a solid choice. Everyone's got their level ups and we've passed off the gear. I have like one thing I can sell. I found it in my kitty. I was saving it for a Miri, then it turns out that we've been giving her better stuff already. So we'll just sell that stuff. And that's more BP, so yay us. So let's actually do a quick save, and we will press R to rest. Boom, full health.
In due time.
And it may have transpired that we've passed today. Let's find out officially. Remember, it's always like midnight. And the reason I say it has to be a day, because again, we wanted to do Bakken's building. One day still. So what I can do is I can skip a day. I don't normally like to do this because there's stuff that you can be doing out in the world, but again, we know that a day solves that problem. So 0 days, it literally is like minutes. It's keeping it to the exact time. That straight up sucks. He is like right there. Okay, so I guess we will be leaving around in town. We'll go sell some stuff off. Oh, we do have an event just popped up though. Triple Invasion. Here we go. Keston Arias' Castle. Information. Alright, what do we got for me, Keston? Your Grace, Keston has a troubled look on his face. I fear there's another matter that requires your attention. There have been reports, many of them, from settlements across the narrow marches. There are trolls in the forest, seemingly hordes of them. Rumors claim they're more than typical savage beasts. They almost seem to show reason in tactics. They form groups, attack all at once, plunder the villages, and carry away the peasants. Even stranger kobolds have been spotted among their ranks, when usually they would be attacked on sight. Keston falls silent for a moment. I'm not certain any of this is reliable. Fear builds mountains of molehills. Some of the rumors even say these trolls carry torches and burn down houses, seemingly unafraid of open flames. It's entirely possible the rest of the reports could be exaggerated as well. Now, we know better. Not only did we find one with kobold, remember that little boom sayer, whatever the hell he was called? That tough-ass troll fight we had, one of which was immune to fire. So all this is stacking up to be an accurate depiction. The common folk will hardly heed any simple exhortation. Someone will need to go to the Gnarl Marches to investigate the matter. I was considering the matter when it hit me. What if you were to take on this investigation yourself, Grace? So now we can literally say, piss off, and, I'm not going to do that, or we can literally say, clearly I'll head south and do things. So again, I may have time for this later. I'll pass. Lawful neutral. A baron's duty is to his people. I'll head south and look into the situation. Thank you, Grace. Keston sighs with relief. When you decide to go, please remember that trolls can only be killed with fire or acid. Nice little reminder. Troll trouble.
Trolls who didn't fear fire? That sounded terrible, and dangerous, and terribly dangerous. If we couldn't rein them in, our young barony would be eaten up in a snap.
Indeed. Okay, so let's take a look at our journal. So remember, we have a curse to deal with. It's coming here soon. And troll trouble. The trolls must first learn more about them. Anything else that shows up here? Nothing yet. Curse. Court alchemist. Build the laboratory. We still have yet to do that. We're working on it. We're closing the prologue and stone lines. Those are done. Okay. So off we go. I will go sell that gear and I'll go buy some rations, so we don't have to worry about having rations be short again. We'll buy like another 8. 8 square. Oh, we do have someone to talk to in the tavern. No. Well, yes, but also, Kessie? Is that her name? The tiefling? I forgot about her. We need to go talk with her. She has a house. We should be able to see that on the open map here. I think. Let's find out. Trolls. Troll trouble. It's a good start for chapter 2, man. This barren town of ours, I definitely need some upgrades, but we're a ways away from that, I think. What you have, take that, and I want to buy camping supplies. There we are, and I'm going to buy some BP just to show it to you, and because I want it, just so you can see it here. And again, you can go crazy on this stuff, but obviously you don't want to. Don't take too much, because again, that's a problem. So you can literally scale it back down and say, oh, send this 47 back, I don't need this much. Now we're back to 100, that's 8,000. I'm cool with that. Every now and again, you'll find that I just stop by the shop and buy some. Alright, let's look for her house. Ooh, we got a traveling merchant. I wonder if that was part of that announcement we saw, that we had more merchants showing up there at our shop. Here we go. Inio, the traveling merchant, a tanned half-elf merchant, gives you a polite bow. His thick chestnut hair shows a slight touch of gray at his temples, a sure sign that he's in his 7th decade. Mature, but not old age for a half-elf. I'm happy to welcome you, Your Grace. I am Enio, wandering trader in curiosities. I have come to your lands recently and hope to stay here for a while until the road calls me again. Tell me about yourself. I prefer to travel the wild and sparsely populated corners of the continent. The farther I wander from big cities and trade routes, the less competition I have from the rich merchant guilds. In my travels, I sometimes manage to acquire true curiosities. Of course, sometimes I get into trouble instead. Few can boast of escaping a giant scorpion by climbing a mammoth cactus. Interesting. Well, let's see what you got for sale, buddy. Okay, we've already sold off our stuff, so we're not selling anything to him, but he has a nice shock longbow. Now, it's not composite. That should be your first clue that it's not the best choice. Still, solid damage, and you gotta love that. Longsword +2, now that's my cup of tea. And for 8,300 bucks, I'll stick with my +1, I think, for the time being. It's not that much better. Keen Elven Curve Blade. Now this is a rarity. This is one of those things that a lot of people swear by for a Magus build, a dex-based build, because it's a finesse-wielding weapon somehow with two-handed weapon. I don't understand how that works. Notice it's keen though, so the crit range is double. So it's beautiful. This is for crit fishing, like I said before. So you don't have to make your weapon keen. You can do that with a spell usually, or in our case, we can do it with a Magus upgrade, like my Fire edition. There's a way to make it keen as well. So you don't have to, is my point. So that's nice. It's built into the weapon. Another way of getting it the keen status is to train an Elven Curve Blade, which of course is Sword Saint Wood, and then you get improved critical feat for the Elven Curve Blade, which means any Elven Curve Blade you wield has the keen quality built into it. Again, very nice. I don't know that you can properly use this one because it is two-handed with that arcane spell strike ability where you channel your touch attack through your weapon. I know you can do it for any two-handed weapon. Let me rephrase. You can channel, let's say, Shocking Grasp into a two-handed weapon, wield that two-handed weapon, and swing. What you can't do is swing multiple times in one combat round, like I can with a one-handed weapon. That's the trick there. So again, I could have done a Great Axe, for example. Would have been awesome. And an intensified Shocking Grasp through that Great Axe would have been freaking some sweet damage. But I'd only get one swing in a combat round to get it off. After that first swing, if I miss on the next combat round, if I don't cast any other spells, I'll swing like normal, and it will discharge the spell. So just saying, your DPS is a little slow, so to speak, if you're wielding two-handed as a Magus build, just to be warned. Though he does have Boots of Elvenkind, this is a nice mobility bump, +5, competence bonus to mobility. We'd obviously put that on our mobile character. That's a solid increase. Other than that, just some scrolls, nothing fancy. None that I particularly care about. Well, maybe we'll take that greater magic. Oh, it's magic weapon. I thought it was greater dispel magic, like this one here. That's okay. I'll take one of those though, because it never hurts to have that. Do we want the boots? We'll probably find them, so I don't want to waste 2,500 bucks on something that we'll just find. So I'm okay with that. Where's our map? Is this her house? Cassie's house. Yeah, okay, here it is. Okay, inside we go. A tense silence hangs over the house. Cassie, your tiefling friend, emerges from the shadows, but her eyes are staring into the distance. She seems to look right past you. No, not now. Okay. The turmoil is suddenly over, but you see fear in Cassie's eyes. Her blue eyes, it's you. Her blue eyes. Wait, what? I thought they were red. It's you. I wanted to say I gain 90 XP. We have Knowledge Arcana check passed and a Lore Religion check passed. What happened? That is surely not regular travel between planes. The girl closes her eyes and clenches her fist, obviously in the grip of a strong emotion, but one you cannot read. I knew it couldn't last forever. Why did he make this rule if he knew it would be impossible to keep? She takes a deep breath, opens her eyes, and speaks with firm resolve. Come what may, you should know, Dora, that the person you know by the name of Cassie does not exist. My real name is Kaliki, and well, it's a long story, so stories are better told beside a welcoming fire. Will you hear me out? Fine, let's go. Tell me your story about your fake name. Kaliki. The girl rests her head on her arm and stares off into the distance, lost in memory. Stories by the fire in the desert where I was born, my fondest memory. When the day is done, hosts and guests, parents and children, friends and rivals, all gather by the fire under the stars to tell their tales. All they did, all they witnessed, all they heard from other travelers, and the whispers carried by the desert wind. All the music is getting loud. My sister and I often snuck in to hear these stories, hiding in the... hold on a second. I need to turn that down, guys. That's just very, 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 very loud. Apparently that had no effect. Tieflings are unwelcome guests in Kadira, unblessed by the light of merciful Serenray. We grew up sleeping in a common tent, scavenging food here and there like orphans, all but outcast and disowned. We were 13 when we left and set off to find happiness in the cities, and everyone we left behind sighed with relief. My sister and I, we are twins, but as different as the sun and moon. Her name is Canera, which means silent flame. She is fire, a cold fire, but one that turns everything to ash. I am a river. It brings me joy to give water to tired travelers and nurture green shoots. But when I flood, I am bound to bring death. The girl's eyes are full of sorrow. Despite our differences, we are one. Our lives belong to divine Nethys, and by his mercy we now live. in turns. While one of us is here, the other sleeps in another plane, and when she wakes up, we switch places, just as you just witnessed. So this is why you didn't remember you when we were talking to Jamandi Eldori? How could I remember you? I'd never met you at the time. That was Canera. She was the one who talked to you at the reception and helped you fight off the assassins. We usually write each other's notes, recounting in detail all that happened and describing any friends that Cassie had made. That time we switched right in the middle of a mansion engulfed in fire and filled with assassins. Canera didn't have the time to write any notes. And how is it you began to live in turns? Kaliki lowers her head. This story is one I've never told to anyone before. No one in the world. And it's not easy to confide in a stranger. There's too much grief and guilt in it. If you don't mind, I'd rather not go into all the details. You see, my sister died, and I couldn't get over it. Canera was killed by a soul eater, a monster summoned by secret followers of Abaddon's archdemons. Those who summoned him died in the fight, but the beast was too strong for my sister, and I wasn't even there to protect her. Kaliki catches her breath. We just had a fight, and we both did some stupid things just before, but I don't want to talk about that now. When I found out what happened to my sister, I was ready to make a deal with any power, if only I could get her back. And I found such a power. I was contacted by an Arcanathane, I hope that's right, the herald of the god Nethys himself. She promised she would return Canera to life, but on two conditions. First, we must both keep the arrangement a secret. Second, we would never be able to meet again. And so our new life began. Now we flee through the world, guarding our secret, always introducing ourselves as Cassie to hide that there are two of us, and we switch places with each other at random. While one lives, the other sleeps in a demi-plane, one created specially for us, and you can't control these switches. No, we can't. They happen at random, most often while we're sleeping, but sometimes in broad daylight. That's why we can never stay in one place for long. When someone witnesses us switch, we usually tell them tales of a special magical way of traveling, but people start noticing strange things and begin to figure things out. Truth be told, I'm so tired of having to pretend. We knew this couldn't last forever, and now the truth is finally out. What's the point in all this? You revealed your secret to me. It means you broke one of the rules set by the deity's herald. Yes, will you make me regret this, Dora? I thought you might be someone who could help my sister and me change our fates. What can I do to help? That's actually what I wanted to talk to you about. Canera was supposed to tell you of an ancient treasury that we've been looking for. Gold isn't the only thing of value in this place. They may contain an ancient relic taken by the Taldan raiders from a respected Kadirian temple of Nethys. It's an unusual relic called the Disc of the Eclipse. I once heard a beautiful story that it was created from the shadow that hides the sun and the moon, but I don't think that could be the truth. Nethys is the god of magic, who was once a mortal wizard, and relics from his temples are usually very powerful. There are many among his followers who think that solving the mysteries of magic, even rivaling their deity, is the best way to serve him. One such follower created the disc long ago in the distant past. This is kind of my character, really. I'm all about my magic. According to legend, it gave its owners control over planar travel, but only pairs of wizards bound by unbreakable ties could use it. While one of them traveled the planes, the other was his anchor in our world, and they could switch between. Do you see now why we so desperately wish to find the disc? It might help us understand how to switch between me and Canera, how the switch between me and Canera works, and it should make our divine patron happy. Nethys and his assistants value the desire to understand the mysteries of magic above all else. And how did this disc come to be in the Stolen Lands? It was brought here by Taldans from the 5th Army of Exploration. Taldor and Kadira were enemies for ages. Thousands of years ago, a soldier broke into the Temple of Nethys and stole the relic to sell it, or secretly hoard it as an heirloom. Hundreds of years later, his own kin, or the kin of its 100th buyer, brought the disc to these strange lands where the Taldans had come uninvited as usual, and which they finally vanished from with little trace. Sometimes history is intricate lace. You never guess where it begins and where it ends. Tell me about the location of the treasury. It was called Sorrowflow in the chronicle we read. It was once a Taldan town founded by the veterans of the 5th Army of Exploration. It stood on the shores of a turbulent river, and that was what destroyed it. One night, a terrible flood devastated the settlement, killing many and driving the rest to flee. Only the tower on the cliff remained, which was too high for the flood to reach. Water covered the ruins for a long time, but last year it receded. My friends found a chronicle which recounted the destruction of the city and spoke of the Disc of the Eclipse, which was kept there. They managed to track down the ruins, but we're frightened away by the monsters and beasts that roam the area. If this can help, then I agree. Clicky's sad eyes get a little warmer. Thank you. I'll wait for you there at Sorrowful, and please, let's explore the ruins together, just the two of us. I don't want to give myself away again in front of your companions. Breaking the Arcanothane's conditions once was enough. I have no wish to anger our god so long. Sorrowful has been revealed on our overland map. Now, having said that, we're going back upstairs to steal from her. I'm your Baron. Give me your stuff. Old diary. So this is just a bit of quest information. Her relationship with her sister, basically the notes that they write down and stuff like that. And she has a take on everybody. Dora, a human male. Forget what I said about Keston and Valerie. That's the one to catch and make blush. Oh my. What do we got here? Amiri, a barbarian with a sword the size of a kitchen table. A funny sort, left with the expedition along with everyone else. Valerie, a human fighter with a horrible blonde haircut. Yeah, that's true. Valerie, I'd gladly pay some dragon or evil wizard to catch her, pluck her out of her armor, and keep her in a cage for 6 months, taking care that she doesn't abuse her hair. I might just play the dragon or wizard myself. Oh my. Tartuccio, Lindsay, round face, chestnut hair, kept getting in my way, unreliable and irritating. You get along marvelously, I'm sure. Thankfully, she left with the expedition. So she's talking to her sister in her notepad, basically. But we're totally taking that because that's just funny. Anything else in here, treasure-wise?
I do what I must.
That's a cute little addition, though. I like that. I thought that was funny. Her take on all the different characters is basically in here. There's nothing in here. Let's bounce out of here. Now we have, like I said, unlocked Sorrowful, and she says she wants us to go alone. Again, another alone quest. I'm not a big fan of those until I feel like I'm tough enough to do that. So we can push that away for a bit. Oh, and we did get a level up though, so let's actually handle that. Not sure how we did that, but we did. He's a level 3 Magus. And he's doing mage armor for free, and he gets his dragon resistances, some electricity protection, and some natural armor. Very nice. I am building him, for those of you that are interested, in the vein of making him a dragon disciple, so you can actually follow my build on him to see what's going on. Notice that he needs an Arcana of 5. That's the only real thing we're working on at this point. So we just need to make sure at level 5 he has a 5 in that stat. And then at level 6 will be the first level of him being Dragon Disciple. I don't mind giving him... Well, first let's do the Magus Arcana. In my previous build, the one that I touted, you can go back to my old list and find it. I went Wand Wielder, Wand Mastery, so he could wield a quarterstaff. He's a strength-based character, and therefore a two-handed weapon. He can really crush some stuff. Downside is you can't really cast your spells, your Shocking Grasp, through your weapon like that. So I'm not going to do that on this round. Wand Wielder is still a solid option for him because he can cast spells from wands and still attack with a one-handed weapon. So I will do that. And then from there, I'm going to have a weapon focus in Scimitar for him. He's amazing at it, and there's some really good scimitars that jive off of being a Magus. Since I'm not using the scimitars, might as well give them to someone who can. From here, remember his spells are chosen, and once he picks those spells, he's almost always stuck with them. He will level up, and you can recycle stuff, just like with Lindsay, because he's a spontaneous caster. So if you'll try something and say, oh, I don't need that, or I made a mistake getting that, then you can recycle it back out. Takes a little bit to do so. He is going to be a strength-based character, though, so having something like Enlarged Person is a solid choice for him. He already has Protection twice. Not that he'll need the Mage Armor, but it's there. He can cast it on the team. True Strike is already there. I didn't choose it. He did. Shock and Grasp is, of course, a staple. And again, I should get like Corrosive Touch just to complete the set. But again, he's going to excel at Shocking Grasp, I insist. Actually, I just thought of something. I don't want him to have Weapon Focus Scimitar just yet. We're going to do the additional traits so you can see what this is. This is something that's Eldritch Arcana. This is an addition to the game, the core game, because of the mods that I have. So when you do additional traits, you could do traits at level 1. You get them by default. But he didn't do that, so he doesn't have it. But you can do additional traits, and again, therefore pick either an emotional drawback or a physical drawback. So here's your physical drawbacks. Whole list of them. Asthmatic, bad vision, and you can see what the penalties basically do for you. I've tried to, what do I want to say, pick ones that thematically fit with the character. For instance, this character is basically a former slave. Was basically beaten, so if there's something in here that's like that, then that would be a thing. If he was an orphan, and that was in here, then that would be a thing. Emotional drawback. Let's see what we got in here. We have zealous, sleepy, shadow scarred, patient. This one's a nasty one. Be real careful with this one, guys. If you pick impatient, read this. Your love leaping into battle at the earliest opportunity, and it frustrates you to wait for others to act. You will literally lose control of your character for the combat round, if not the whole damn combat. So I've had that one by mistake, thinking, oh, I don't mind an insight bonus on initiative, and these penalties against evil and attack rolls and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, whatever. No, this is a nasty one. So be real careful. Test these out, I would suggest, ahead of time. Envy is the one that most people go by. This is the one that as long as you have money, you're fine. If you don't have money, then you have a concentration penalty. The other one is for physique. People pick hedonistic. Same deal. If you have money, you're fine. If you don't have money, this one sucks because you have a penalty to strength index. You're considered fatigued. So those are the two that I usually go for because obvious reasons. As long as you got cash, you're good to go. But he is attached. No, betrayed. Nah, bitter. Kind of. That's more harem, I'd say. Condescending. No, that's the one I picked for Valerie because she's a condescending prig. He's definitely not cowardly. He might be cruel, but I think I took that on the Jathal. Bonus to flank, yeah, and penalty when they're not flanked. Yeah, so he's not going to do that one. He's not a daydreamer. He's not an empty mask. Guilty fraud, haunted. Dark secret. No, that's not him. Haunting regret. No. Shadow scarred. He might be a physical drawback guy. Oh, what we got in here? He's not asthmatic. He doesn't have bad vision. Burned. Oof, that sounds nasty. Entomophobe. No, don't want him being weak against spiders and stuff. Family died. No. Fate taken. No. Foul brand. You have the symbol of an evil deity burned into your flesh. The place where the symbol is decides what the penalty is. So if you click foul brand, it pops up a menu. So you can have it on your face, hands, or legs. If you have it on your legs, movement speed is penalized. If you have it on your hands, your trickery is penalized, which I don't care. So we'll say that he was branded as a slave, and it was on his hand. That works for me, and that's a penalty I could care less about. So that works out beautifully. And then that by doing so, by picking either a emotional or a physique drawback, you get a third trait. That's why you do that. Otherwise, you could have skipped this, by the way. It could have been none. And then I'd only have 2 to pick from. But this is just too good to pass up. I mean, this is another one of those where I give him the equipment trait, the family heirloom, and I say, oh, you stole a scimitar, or whatever it says. Your family got rich after finding a treasure on a small island on the sea. They found a skeleton with a pirate hat and a scimitar. You could have the scimitar for your adventure. So again, if you started the game with this heirloom, they give you a +1 scimitar. He doesn't, but he will have a bonus to his swing because he's been practicing with it, and I'm cool with that. It's the same as basically weapon focus, damn near. So that's nice. And then here, and it stacks with weapon focus too, I should say. Let's do some of the magic stuff. So, magic trait is a common one, and I usually grab magic lineage. Notice it lists spells 1 through 9, spell level. Obviously, he only has access to level 1 through 6 as a magus. So, you want to pick a spell that's probably 4, 5, or 6. Now, why would you pick these spells? What does this do for you? It allows you to literally add a meta magic, and the meta magic, no matter what it is, a +1, +2, +3, or 4, it is reduced by 1. So a level 4 spell that has a empower, that's a +2 added to it. Normally it's cast as a level 6 spell slot, right? 4 + 2 = 6. But because you have this, if it's this one and only spell, that +2 turns into a +1, so it means you cast it as a 5th level spell slot. That's particularly useful. Now think about the intensified meta magic feat, and you'll see why this is pretty appealing. Now he's an electric guy, so the only really good electric spell is Chain Lightning. for this level. But it's level 6. What else could you really add to it? Not a whole lot. There's not many things that are +1 meta magic, so probably not the one you want. I'm going to go with spell level 4, and this is almost always my staple for a Magus. I'll go for level 4 and I'll grab a very amazing spell, Dragon's Breath. Level 4, if I intensify this, I can make this 17d6. And normally intensify would be level 4 plus 1, so would be a level 5 casting. I'm actually fine with that, but I'd rather it be a level 4 casting, because then I can empower it as well. So then 17d6 turns into some ungodly number, and it would be now 4 plus 1 minus 1 plus 2. It would land as a level 6 spell, where it was intensified and empowered, and it's going to wreck unholy hell and damage. And it can be an electric Dragon's Breath where he gets a bonus. That's pretty sweet. Now the other feat that's also magical, I want to say, is regional. You go for Meta Magic Master. Now notice it's the same exact thing. Where you take a Meta Magic, whatever the number is, +1, +2, plus whatever, and subtract 1 from it. But you can only do it for one spell that's level 1, 2, or 3. Well, what spell do you get? Well, the obvious one. Level 1, Shocking Grasp. This is the one that literally allows me to cast my spells, and now he will have the same. He can cast Shocking Grasp once he has that feat, and he can cast it without penalty, as far as the +1 penalty to it, so it'll still be a level 1 casting, and it'll eventually do 10d6 of damage, plus 10 thanks to him being a electric dragon type. That's awesome. Okay. That was pretty sway. I take that. Alright, how are we doing on the team? Everybody else pretty happy? We might take him out just because of that now.
I'm off.
Yeah, let's do that. Come on, bro. We're only traipsing around for the close area, so maybe we'll scour the land for some stuff that we can, what can you say? Claim for our region. It takes BP, but we have some money and I just bought some, so we should be okay. Oh, it looks like we already have a update here. What happened? Troll invasion. Oh, that was just our little talk with Keston. +1 in the military. Nice. And we have another event. Okay. Our current dream has been troubling the Baron's slumbers. This is an awesome upgrade for us. He sees valiant heroes entering ancient ruins to descend under the ground, never to return. Their faces show stern resolve, their lips pinch thin. The angry red sun follows the heroes into the darkness, casting its fleeting evening rays upon them. Just before waking, the Baron hears a faint whisper. Come to me, hero. I await you here in the Tenebrous Depths. Outstanding. So now this is another DLC that they've added to the game. Let me show you roughly where that's at. I want to say it's either the Nara Marches over here or over here in the outskirts. But basically it's in this general area, vicinity. And the Tenebrous Depths are a extra XP sink for one. So you can literally send your team of 3 in there and just get like gobs of XP. You can only go 1 level at a time. If you do just the Tenebrous Depths as the DLC itself, it's a good way for you to test builds, and then it's an infinite dungeon. So if you've heard people talk about the infinite dungeon, that's what we're talking about. Here, it's not infinite. It actually goes levels 1 through 5, I believe. And in each level, there's a main... Or sorry, not 1 through 5. What am I saying? 1 through 4 times 5 levels, I think. Because there's 5 main bosses. You have to do 4 levels to beat the son of a bitch. And there's treasure that they leave behind, and you need to find all that treasure. I'll show you when we go there. We're not going there now. It'll take a few days of our time, and we don't have a few days because our curse is coming up. But it's just sitting there waiting for us, and that's, like I said, free gear and XP and really good stuff. It is tough, so don't kid yourself. Take your A team, and I will. I'll take probably 4 again. Probably Tristan will come with me, so I have a solid healer. No offense to my other healing compatriot, but he's definitely better. Between the 4 of us, though, we should march through those dungeons, hopefully with our pets, and get some free loot, and progress nicely. And then the barrier, after beating a specific spot, a barrier will pop up and say, you can't go any further. And well, that just means come back, and then another one of these will pop up later, letting you know, hey, it's time to come back. And then again, you can go back whenever you have time to complete the next layers. So again, very cool. Anyway, so that's a thing. We got anything in here that popped up as being weird? 6 days, curses. I do want to check to see if it's still on the building block. Yeah, 0 days still. So we want to keep within our zone so we can see that upgrade, just in case he comes to town and talks to us, Bakken. And again, we want to stay close by because, again, we're getting real close to our 14 days for the curse, which is here. So in about a day and 4 hours, they're going to give us the, hey, you should probably go there and kick its ass, and we will do so promptly. The longer you wait in that 14-day span, the more problems that happen to your town, and that's a no bueno. They did say that they wanted us to advance the area, so let's head back to the ford across the Skunk River. We need to find out about these trolls, and it's reasonably close to our territory. Yeah, see that? I want to see what that is. Court Alchemist. From now on, Bakken is blah blah blah. Whatever the hell that said. Basically, we got his thing. His building up. Cool beans. Let's do a cancel quick save. Let's head into here. Never hurts to revisit areas. We don't know where the trolls are, so we're going to basically scour the land, so to speak. If stuff looks different, then we'll know it's going to be probably a fight on our hands, so we'll probably buff up at that point. But if not, I'll probably just pull out a set of dogs. Together we stand. Just so that we have something with us. Now, it doesn't look like anything's changed as far as the map is concerned. That don't mean anything.
I'm there.
Right. Ooh, see, it looks like we already have stuff. Okay, nope. Head over here. We got a camp. And it looks like bodies. Oh my. That's got to be a kobold. What the hell is that? Is that a half or a gnome? Okay, so it looks like we got a fight that happened here recently, so we should probably buff up.
I will not falter.
Do your thing.
Battles await.
Yes. Team. Arrows. We'll test that one out because if someone's shooting at us, that'll be handy.
I'm losing my temper.
I'll take care of it.
No, wrong again. Do that one. There we go.
Any fun to be had?
Your spells over here, bro. And he doesn't have meta magic yet. This is his draconic grow claws ability, like I said. So you would probably just leave that on in combat. Let him get an extra swing with his claws. It's a very annoying feature, but like I said, it's a free attack. So why would you complain about it? So I guess I probably shouldn't.
To act.
I'll do the ring here if we get into combat. She's done her buff, but she needed to do mage armor on her. She's not really doing a whole lot of fighting. And also takes one of his spells to buff. Another reason I like bringing him, because he has mage armor built into his build. Alright, we're tanky. Let's get into this, whatever this was. Oh, they're still here.
Stand with me.
Oh, kobolds. Freaking unholy havoc. Okay. Reg. Well, first, let's turn that on. Buff your weapon, sir. Charge. Okay. Oh, nice solid hit, Reg. He's very strong, by the way. I want to say he's as strong, if not stronger than my character, I think. Yeah, he is. His charisma's not as good. I would have, if I made him, I would have done reverse stats. This would have been a 16. This would have been a 19. So he'll have a strength of 20, and then I'll put other 4 points into charisma to make his level 20 build. He'll be really good at spells, not amazing, but good at spells, and he'll have extras. And he'll have a really solid strength of 20, and because he's going Dragon Disciple, he will get another 4 added to that 20, just naturally for being a Dragon Disciple. So he'll be at a 24 without any spells or buffing. That's a solid strength character, in my opinion. So he's one of the few, well, not one of the few, he's one of a handful of your assistants or people that join your quest that's actually built decent, in my opinion. Anyway, Eliza, what do you got going on, Honey Bear? We got a doofus here. What do we got? We got a caster, a boomsayer. Okay. So we probably need to get on him. Looks like the dogs are gonna have to handle that though. Let's have you do a 5-foot stutter step in this direction. And let's see if you can get off a Stunning spell like your piercing scream.
Amranda gratio.
Yeah, you don't get to do crap, Jackhole. Failed your check. He's actually pretty tough though. Plus 4 well versed. What the hell is that? Peppers, do their thing, Peppers. Take care of that new stuff. Thank God we actually distracted that doofus, so that should keep him from doing his turn. So, Proto. So you haven't attacked yet. Proto, come up here.
Out of my way!
Sneak attack. Her sneak attack is epic now, by the way. Leveled her up, and she has 3d6 versus sneak attack, so you'll see that when she does sneak attack, like she just did, 4d6. 4. I'll have to look at that. I thought it was 3. Well, I ain't gonna complain about it. I'm happy. Solid hit though. Let's see. We did that. Oh! I know why. This is awesome. Let me show you this though. This is cool. So, remember we talked about our emotional and physical drawbacks, right? So she had those because I picked her as a mercenary. I got to make her from level 1 on up. So she got all those traits right off the bat. One of the cool traits that we gave her was Blade of the Society. This is sneak attack damage that gets added to your character at level 3. However, unlike sneak attack die like this, it doesn't count towards that. It's just extra. But because it's sneak attack, it's all applied at the same time. The point is this doesn't apply for when you need like 2 levels of sneak attack to become an arcane trickster. This doesn't count. This does. She has 2 plus 1 from accomplished sneak attacker. That's the usual way of getting it to 2. And then this one, so now she's at 4d6. That's freaking sweet. She got that at level 3. That's awesome. Totally forgot about all of that. That's sweet. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty nice. Dorraj, can you charge this fool? No. That one? Yes. Okay, so you're gonna flame on. It's gonna be a small fight, so we're not gonna waste 2 points to make it enduring. It'll last for a minute. That's good enough for me. Ooh, there's a solid hit. Reg. You know what to do.
I'll cut you.
Cool. The attack doesn't work unless he has a full attack. I should have pointed that out too. Eliza. Let me finish this thing off. Okay. Very nice, guys. Just gonna take the money stuff. We have the camp looks habitable. Its owners must be somewhere nearby. The gnomes fought fiercely as gnomes, but eventually they were outnumbered. We have bodies to loot. We will take. Masterwork, taking that for sure. We got some boxes. Taking all of that. Ooh, and a crowbar. Those are useful. Kind of like the rope. It's a utility tool. You'll keep 1 or 2 on your person, and when you use it in the game, usually during a cutscene, it'll just break the bar, so to speak, so you don't have it anymore. So always keep 1 on you, is my point. She is level 7, as you see. I'm level 7, but much higher. Reg doesn't have probably any skill in trickery, do you, bro? No, not a bit. Neither does she. So it's either me or her. I'd rather I level up again faster, so I'm going to give it to me. So,
I
buff to
stand
me.
ready.
I am never wrong.
My phone is freaking out.
I'm always ready.
Ooh. Cooking Almanac with Intimacy by Judas Nartrapple. Fighting the Bleaching. We got some scrolls and rope. We got all kinds of crap. That's another, like I said, another utility item. So we have a rope now, and we have a crowbar. Solid. Scroll wise, did anything show up that I can use? Doesn't appear to be. How about her? Nope, more the same. Let's go. Quick save that.
Follow if you dare.
Oh, we got something over here. What does this say? This is why camera rotation is nice. Okay. Kobold's corpses are badly burned by acid and alchemical fire. Mouth-watering broth is simmering in the pot. Huh. My, want to take that just in case I want to cast that spell. We have stuff over here. Ooh. That is a magic sigh. Sexy. Now remember, she doesn't have two-weapon fighting. So she could do this, but she's going to be at a severe penalty. See the -4, -8. If she had two-weapon fighting, just that 1 feat, that -4 would drop to a -2. This -8 would drop to a -2 because we're using light weapons. And again, it would give us 3 attacks versus 2. It's not really that great. Just saying. But it is something to think about. I have toyed with the idea again of having my character be two-weapon fighting. Size would be one of the weapons that I could probably train in exotic weapons and have one in my offhand and not feel like I'm an idiot. But I'd probably stick with daggers or punching daggers, things of that nature. But that was pretty cool. Let's actually reorient our camera. Quick save that mess.
I'm there.
What do we got? So we got the fight. Is that it? We got stuff over here again, maybe? Follow! If you dare. Ooh, there's a body.
I'm off.
Ooh, yeah, we'll take that loot. Okay, cool. Good story. What's down here? Looks like that guy's trying to run away and got
Their
caught.
life ends here.
Oh my. Big hog and fight. Gnomes. So they're still fighting the kobolds. Oh my god, there's a lot of gnomes and kobolds. There's Jubilost. He's going to be our economy guy. He actually probably should say something to him, but because of the way we got the turn-based mod, it messes up his little speech more likely than not. Or we need to get a little closer for him to shout it at us. But here's Proto-Lich. Her turn. Might as well move her forward. So she's up and in it. Now, these are a lot of dudes. And I don't mind wasting a skeleton summons right on top of these jackasses. Dora. Just in case it wore
This
off.
will
Probably
hurt.
did. It only lasts for a minute.
Strike! My masterpiece!
Loving this character. He's getting to be better every day. Eliza, you come out over here. We may need to heal up these people. I don't want his gnome buddies to die. They look like they're healthy though. Okay, so firebomb, cold bomb. Yeah, let's do the cold. My skeletons aren't immune to cold, so I should put them regardless of whether it could or not. Dogs are coming into play. Reg, he won't be able to make it. So we'll just have him come forward twice. He doesn't have any offensive range spells. It's probably the next thing to work on.
Die for
We'll probably get into position for this doofus, though. Let's do it. Nice shot, Juby. Little gnome buddies are actually pretty decent. They will die if you're not careful, but I don't think it actually matters. But now that this guy's swarmed, it's time to do that sneak attack love. See what I'm saying? Even with a cantrip that never wears out. He just said something, I missed it. Help the beleaguered travelers, renowned explorer, Jubilost Narthropple. So, the gnome invites some of his friends. Stupid, slow, sluggish gnome. Gnome. Stupid. There's a purple kobold on the riverbank who looks just like your old acquaintance Tartuccio that we know we killed. But remember, he got rezzed. And now he really is a kobold. How weird is that? Magic Kingdoms, man. All kinds of freaky shit going on. Kobolds want this cart. Kobold shall have it. The horse skull hides most of the kobold's face, but you see his vicious eyes glinting through the empty sockets, glaring, or staring at you. By orders of myself, the glorious King Tartuk. He's a king now, are you? Oh, I'm a baron, so I guess we're royalty. The kobold pounds his chest with his fist. Tartuk, king! The head of the gnome expedition wipes his brow and glares at the kobold. This bastard was the one talking our ears off while the rest of them were trying to steal our cart. King Tartuk, the gnome looks at you and winks. What do you say to a bit of regicide? Tartuccio, I recognize you. What is this new disguise, and why are you not dead? How dare you speak to like that to the king? Kobolds, attack! Shirdas! Whatever the hell that means. Shirdas! Yeah, that must mean kill. Oh, and he just buffed them with something. Haste, I bet. I bet you he hasted them. Did you haste them, Tartuccio? Yeah, they look flippy. Okay. Dora. This would be a perfect time for me to slop out some freaking goblins out of his ass. And actually, you know what? That's not the worst idea ever. So, let's, 5-foot step this way. Got some good range to it. You can't get Tartuccio, by the way. At least I've never been able to. So, for those of you that were curious. Get him, team. Yeah. Attack of the little people. Alright, Elijah. Really wreck that fool. Oh, hell, I forgot I got her size. I need to switch her back to the Chacus of Fire. I need to put that out of the first slot. So I don't know if that's her main weapon. Puppers. There's just not enough room for you guys. I'm sorry. Proto, you can come closer. Take out this one.
Hear you cry.
Boom. Bye, loser. Still drowning now comes into play. In the right room, people. Love having a team that summons stuff. When you finally get to the point where they can summon and do something useful, that's really, really nice, as you see.
Amateurs!
Yeah, I love Narth Rock's voice acting. He's amazing. He's British sounding. Reg, we'll come up here, and we'll probably have you do it just a camp. This way. He's not very dexterous in it's fighting into combat without point-blank shot, precise shot. It sucks with the race spells, but it's what it is. Dora, since you started this mess with your damn spell, why don't you kick us out with this? Kill my priest! Either. Okay. I'm not screaming at it. Oh, she used her turn all the way. What the hell? Alright. Let's do a little bouncy bounce move. Boom. Just wrecked your shit. Yeah, come on, skeletons. Open that. Skeletons will do more damage than the dogs or the goblins will. Even with the goblins, the dogs aren't moving well. The skeletons are hitting like a brick shit house. So, that's to our benefit. Okay, Reg. Canter time again. Like that, I'm not expecting him to do much for this fight. He's just here to basically sponge soak up some XP while I'm on the 18. That's going to be annoying. Probably ah, there we go. Some stuff finally disappeared. Those are skeletons. That's the stuff I didn't want to disappear. Okay.
You should have run!
Get here, Dora. Boom. You should have died. Yeah. All the flanking. I hear that someone's added a mod that allows you to make goblins one of your races that you can play as. We get a goblin buddy, kind of like we're getting Jubilost here as a gnome buddy. And that's the only goblin that you can play in this game. It's basically a sidekick. And he's awesome, don't get me wrong. But it's one of those where it's kind of weird to give it to me as an option to play the race when it's clearly in the game. See you soon enough. This is not over. Poof, invisible, and he GTFOs so we can't follow him. Now, save the cart from the river. My cart, it's sinking! So this is where I will pause the game, quick save, and we are going to cut the video here and start back up again right back. Give me a second.